Hi and welcome to this edition of Out of the Box. My name is Paul. Today we're going to have a look at what is in this blue box. This is part of the Ruijie RG-AirMetro range. This is the RG-AirMetro460G. This is one of the endpoints designed to work in a point to multi-point setup. So you'd maybe have something like this, which is the Omni antenna with a transmitter fitted here on the bottom. And then you can have up to 32 endpoints off that main base station. Obviously you could mount several of those base stations and give you even greater coverage. That can go up to, I think with an Omni, about 2 kilometers. If you use a sector antenna, up to about 5. And if you use two of these together, you could potentially get up to 15 kilometers. So a great device, not a big technical overview. Do head on over to our YouTube channel. We've got plenty more guides on how to set up Ruijie and configure them. This is meant to show you what you're going to get in the box. So let's start with this. If you've heard me do this before, I'm really excited always about the warranty guide. Why? Because you get 3 years warranty out of the box. All right, so great for our Australian environment. You're going to get a get started guide. This might be useful because this is a bit more like a flat pack and does need quite a lot of connecting it all together to make it work. You are going to get a power cord because this is a PoE powered device. So you're going to get a figure of 8 2, and we're in Australia, so we've got the 2-pin here. And then you're going to get a PoE injector. Now, if you're not sure what PoE injector, this would normally live back where your router or your switch is. You're going to have mains plugged into here. Now, this is 24 volts, so this device won't run off a normal PoE switch because that's 48 volts. So your mains power in this side. You're going to connect the LAN port to your router or to your switch. And then out of this PoE port is going to come an Ethernet cable. That Ethernet cable can be up to 100 meters in length, and it's going to carry your data and your power. That allows you then to put this device on the outside of your building, pointing back to the main site that you have the connection at. Okay, let me go through some of the items, the other items you're going to get in the box. So you're going to get a couple of metal zip ties there, and you're going to get a packet of screws and fixments, which I'll show you where a lot of those fix together in a moment. Then you're going to get quite a lot of other pieces, which I'm going to show you how it all fits together. So to start with, we need to build the, if you like, the antenna shroud around the outside. So you can actually see that these have got pins and holes cut out. So if we actually connect these together, I'm hoping I can do this in front of the camera and actually make this all work. All right, we can now see that this is fitted together. We can now take our back mounting plate, all right, and this can now fit in at the back. I'll show you once that hopefully this is all in place. I'm just trying to figure out the best way of doing this. There we go. All right, so hopefully now we can just see that almost in place. There we go. All right, it's not quite got where it's needed to go. There we go. All right, so we can now see that that's actually fitted in place and here at the back. So we can now take what we call our horn. Our horn has our Ethernet cable port in there, but is actually the physical piece that's doing the transmitting. So I can now actually offer that up to our setup here, and it actually twists and clips into place. And now all of our setup is a little bit more peaceful because it's actually in place. So now we've got our backing, our horn in the middle, and our back plate here. So what do we have at the bottom? Well, now obviously we have our Ethernet port in, which is going to take our PoE cable, and we're going to have our WPS if we want to use that. Now really, once we've got power to this and our main site's running, we can actually use the Ruijie control panel, because that's the other great thing about Ruijie is a free control panel, no software to install. It's all based online, and these will all call home, so really super easy to remote manage as well. So once we've got this to this point, we can now use our next piece of the puzzle, which now clips into place. What does this now give us? This gives us our up and down maneuverability. We can see on the sides here, we can use some of the screws and fitments from here to be able to bolster that in place like this. I'm just thinking, yep, I have got this the right way round. No, I haven't. Bear with me a moment. Let me just take this off. I've just realized I've actually put this on upside down. All right, so let me just take this off. There we go. Let's push this back on. I think it would be this way round. Does that make sense? And then that will go on to there, or will that go on to there? No, I think it has a screw through it. So up is that way. So that must mean it's that way. There we go. All right, so let's put this back into place on here. All right, so we've now put that back and our latch is in place. We can now take our other mount. This will now hold all of this in place, but will also give us this movement. All right, so there is a retaining screw that will now can be fitted into the bottom of that, as you can see, to hold that fully in place, and everything is now there. So this plate here is basically our final fitment. As you can see, we've got the ability just to bolt that straight through here to the wall. Alternatively, we can see that we've got some cutouts here for a pole, and then we can obviously run our zip ties through those holes there, as you can see, to actually zip tie that directly to our pole. So then obviously our final thing would be to bring this into place, bolt it from the underside into place, and then we can use this to get our alignment. Obviously we've got a level here on the back to allow us to level that up. Once we've got all of that finally in place, then we can bring our Ethernet cable up into our final place here, and we do get a full gland to go with this. So let me just try and put this to the side, maybe out of the photo. There we go. All right, so what can we do here? We can take this off. Our cable is going to run up and through the bung there. So we're going to run our cable up and through the bung. We're going to clip this into place, and then we can basically screw that into the bottom of it here. Remember, we still really want a drip loop ideally. What's a drip loop? We're going to run the cable down and back up again, so that anything moisture that gathers here will always drop to the bottom of a loop and then drip off. So hopefully that's been useful. Quite a few bits to show you there, but do head on over to our YouTube channel. Got plenty more box openings on network, firewall, wireless and security cameras, how to set up Ruijie equipment as well. So why don't you head over there, subscribe and stay up to date.